Coming up on OU Nightly, we are tracking severe weather threat across eastern Oklahoma. I'm going to have the details coming up.
And trouble for TikTok. Why Congress wants to ban the popular social media app and how soon it could happen. Plus, a Mizzou student disappears on spring break. We'll have the very latest. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Darian Curry. We begin tonight with a look at the radar because the start of spring break also means the start of severe weather.
That's right. Your campus weather authority has you covered. Let's head over to OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brand for what we should know. Lauren?
That's right, ladies. We're taking a look across South Campus right now with our campus cam. We have started to see some of these storms initiate, and they've started to initiate really all evening. Now, we have some tornado watches in effect until 6 p.m. Now, Cleveland County is not included in this right now, but as we take a look at radar, we do have some storms popping up. This is mainly for eastern Oklahoma, but we still could see some storms initiate behind this. Now, we do have this storm. It's just east of Norman right now, but we could have some hail associated with that. But coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to be talking more about that severe weather threat. We have more rain chances coming up in your forecast and some more seasonal temperatures. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Lauren. Reactions are flooding in from across the state and the country after Next Benedict's cause of death is released. Just yesterday, the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office ruled Next died by suicide. OU Nightly's senior political reporter Noah Mack is live in the newsroom with what they are saying. Noah?
Well, Melina, you'll remember that Next Benedict was a 16-year-old non-binary student who died shortly after a physical fight at Owasso High School. President Joe Biden offered his sympathies today in a statement from the White House. He called on schools and parents to take bullying reports seriously, and that the country needs to redirect efforts to end discrimination and address the suicide crisis he says is impacting many non-binary and transgender children. Biden also reaffirmed his support for the LGBTQI+ community, saying, quote, "I will always have your back." We also have a statement from Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond saying he's heartbroken and that the medical examiner's conclusions are leading him to believe that bullying may have played a role in Benedict's death. Now, Darian and Melina, the circumstances surrounding this death are still under investigation by the Federal Department of Education.
Thanks, Noah. We will keep you updated as the story develops. And new tonight, a former member of President Trump's cabinet expresses interest in buying TikTok. CNN's Laura Aguirre has the story.
I'm going to put together a group to buy TikTok.
You're trying to buy TikTok?
I am.
It's the latest twist in the TikTok tug-of-war on who should or will control the wildly popular social media app in the U.S. Former Treasury Secretary under Donald Trump, Steven Mnuchin, on CNBC Thursday, unveiling his plan to make a bid, which could happen if a bill banning the Chinese-owned platform or forcing its sale in the U.S. makes it to President Joe Biden's desk. It passed the House with strong bipartisan support Wednesday.
This is a huge lever to affect elections, to carry out a communist government's nefarious plans.
ByteDance ownership of TikTok is a threat to the security of the United States.
The editor-in-chief of ByteDance is the secretary of the CCP cell embedded at the very highest levels of ByteDance to control all of its products, including TikTok.
National security concerns are the most common thread joining both sides of the aisle. Still, there were a few dozen holdouts in the House.
First Amendment implications at stake.
We want to ensure that TikTok is in the ownership of either an American company or a company in an allied country.
Mnuchin hasn't yet revealed how he'd finance the deal or how much he'd offer. But even to get there, the bill to force a sale needs to pass here.
We're going to allow the process to unfold as it should in the Senate.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Police in Tennessee are still looking for a student who disappeared on his spring break trip. OU Nightly's Savannah Simmons has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center. The search for a student continues after he was reported missing in Nashville. Riley Strain, a 22-year-old University of Missouri student, was last seen by his friends at a Nashville bar last Friday. Police say video surveillance showed Strain crossing the street at 9:47 p.m. before he disappeared. Officers searched the area, including the nearby riverbank where he was last seen on video. On Capitol Hill, the Senate Majority Leader called on Israel to hold new elections as the war continues. Chuck Schumer believes Israel's prime minister had lost his way and is an obstacle to peace amid humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Schumer, being the first Jewish majority leader of the Senate, criticized the leader, arguing that he needs to pay more attention to the civilian death toll. A Manhattan district attorney states he doesn't oppose Donald Trump's request to delay the hush money trial. The trial was scheduled to begin on March 5th, but the former president is asking for a 30-day delay. The DA says the extra time will ensure that Trump and his lawyers have enough time to review new materials presented by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And today, SpaceX launched its mega rocket, the Starship, for the third time. But as the rocket approached its end goal, the company lost contact with Starship near the Indian Ocean. Back to you at the desk. Thanks, Savannah. A health alert tonight for everyone using acne cream. The problem some scientists say over this over-the-counter cream that it can cause. Find out if you need to be worried.
And doctors say there's good news about taking ADHD medications. We'll tell you what they're saying coming up. Some acne medication can lead to a shocking link between the drug and cancer development. OU Nightly's Julia Roberts has that and more in today's Health Beat.
Darian, a new report by an independent laboratory suggests there may be a cancer-causing chemical in common acne treatments. In the report, benzene may form at overly high levels in prescription and over-the-counter benzoyl peroxide products. The laboratory found that storing or handling acne products in excessively high heat can allow for cancer-causing chemicals to form. Now, if you have ADHD, you have a higher risk of premature death, but taking medication can help reduce that. Researchers in Sweden studied more than 100,000 people with ADHD for 11 years. They found those who took medication had a 19% decrease in death rate 2 years from diagnosis. Taking medications lowers the risk of accidental injury, drug overdose, and suicide. If you are an Amazon user, you can now get some medications delivered fast and free thanks to a new partnership with Eli Lilly. People are now able to order the weight loss drug Zepbound off Amazon, plus get all-around access to a pharmacist 24/7. Amazon Pharmacy offers those who uses Lilly Direct with an Amazon Prime membership a 2-day delivery. And it's World Kidney Day. It's a global campaign that seeks to raise awareness about the importance of our kidneys. Kidney diseases are affecting an estimated 37 million people in the U.S. Melina, Darian.
Thanks, Julia. State Bill 1854 has passed in the Oklahoma Senate, which would make it a crime for people experiencing homelessness to sleep on any state-owned land. But local homeless shelters are worried about the impact on an already overburdened system. OU Nightly reporter Kenzie Eiserman has the response from the community.
The Oklahoma homeless population has risen over 15% in the last decade.
We've definitely seen an increase in requests for services from the entire spectrum of people in need over the last 10 years.
In response to this increase, more Senator Darrell Weaver and Representative Chris Kennedy authored Senate Bill 1854. If passed, the bill would not allow tents, shelters, and bedding on any state-owned property, including parks, highways, and underpasses.
It doesn't address homelessness at all. It doesn't address the root causes of homelessness, nor does it invest in any type of infrastructure that could lead to a reduction in homelessness.
For first-time offenses, the individual will be issued a warning and offered help to relocate to a food pantry or homeless shelter. But if the individual refuses, they can serve up to 15 days in jail.
So I know there's a lot of frustration, a lot of fear. The thing that I hear over and over again from people, even outside of this bill being passed, is if they don't want us to sleep here, somebody just tell us where to sleep.
Although these individuals will be sent to these shelters, there's not enough space or resources to support them.
We will be turning away literally everybody they bring to the door. Our shelter, A Friend's House, is at capacity every single night. We've not been under capacity even once since we've opened. And that's the same true for Salvation Army, our partner shelter here in Norman. And again, it isn't that we've just not wanted to offer services like this bill makes it sound like, that these folks haven't been offered shelter. We just don't have enough of it.
This bill has to go through the other chamber for further debate. Then the proposal will go to the governor for signature. Kenzie Iserman, OU Nightly.
We reached out to Senator Darrell Weaver for comment and have yet to receive a response. Oklahoma is overrun with stray pets.
How the Norman Animal Shelter says you may be able to help control the pet population with a simple act. Up next on OU Nightly.
And we are tracking severe weather across southeastern Oklahoma. I'm going to track that out for you and more of your 7-day forecast coming up next. Well, thank you for joining us here this evening. We are tracking severe weather across southeastern Oklahoma currently. We do have some severe thunderstorm warnings out right now, but this is really going to be, one of them is just east of Norman and just southeast of us as well. But zooming in here, we do have some hail that is associated with this. Right now, it's really just going to be pea-sized and maybe a little bit bigger than that, but there could be some heavy rain associated with this as well. But as we dive south to this storm, this one is also in a severe warning as well. This is near Tupelo, just east of Tupelo. We could see some hail and some heavy rain associated with this as well. And these storms are going to continue on as we go throughout the evening. Now, if you do have any plans to travel out east of Oklahoma for an early spring break, please be cautious of this. We do still have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and we have seen some big hail associated with these storms. Now, this is going to last until 5:15, and this is going to continue on eastward into Missouri and into Arkansas. Now, this is our tornado risk for today and into tonight. Again, this is really going to be for southeastern portions of Oklahoma, but we could see some stray showers around that area as well. Now, tracking this out for future casts, this is going to be Thursday around that 6 p.m. mark. We still should see some of those stronger storms, but they should be moving off into eastern Oklahoma. Now, this is going to continue to move in that direction. We could see some stronger periods of rainfall with these storms as well, but as we approach Friday morning, this is going to be Friday at 8 a.m., we still could see some lingering showers in the area, so we can't rule that out, and especially with that cloud cover in the area as well. But as we go on throughout our Friday evening, again, we still could see some of those lingering showers, especially out in western Oklahoma. Now, timing this out even further, Saturday morning, we're really just going to be left with some of that cloud cover. But as we roll on through, again, another round for some showers in there, and we can also see some embedded storms in there as well. Now, this is going to be Sunday morning. Again, we're going to be left that cloud cover and a little bit of some sprinkles. So as we look at for tomorrow, we could have some rain possible, temperatures in the lower 60s, and we could see a few gusts with these storms as well. Now, for our lows for tonight, we are going to be in those upper 40s. The panhandle is really going to be much colder than that, and as we go into Friday, those 60s will stick around except for the panhandle in the lower 50s. Now, as we go on into our 7-day forecast, now we do have those lingering rain chances into Saturday, and as we go into Sunday, we will be left with some of those 60s. It will be cooling down quite a bit, but as we go into the rest of the week, we should be left with those 70s.
Thanks, Laura. Now, when is the best time for people to start traveling for spring break?
Well, I definitely want to make sure that people are out
later than these storms. So maybe wait just a little bit longer. Probably tomorrow morning is when I would say to start traveling for spring break.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you.
Now, pet overpopulation is an issue for the state of Oklahoma, and Norman is no exception. Norman Animal Welfare has a program to help curb the city's overpopulation of cats. The program is called Trap, Neuter, and Return. It allows residents to check out free traps to catch feral cats and bring them in to neuter and spay them. The person who caught them will then return the cats to their environment that they came from. The surgeries are done Mondays and Thursdays, and the service is completely free. Breaking news out of the college football world as changes are coming to the college football playoff.
OU Nightly's Emily LeBeth has that and more in sports.
A storm is brewing in the Paycom Center tonight for the Thunder, and we have OU Nightly reporters in OKC to cover it. Hear their thoughts on the upcoming game next in sports. Hi, I'm Emily LeBeth, and it's time for sports. Starting with some breaking news, the college football playoff plans to move to a 14-team playoff in 2026, according to Pete Thamel. FBS teams expect to sign a legal agreement by midday tomorrow, determining whether or not they are participating in the playoff in 2026 and in the following years. Moving to the NBA, the Thunder fell short to the Pacers on Tuesday, but they are back in action tonight in OKC. OU Nightly reporters Kaylee Jo Hummel and Abby Williams are live at the Paycom Center for the matchup.
Greetings from the Paycom Center. I'm Kaylee Jo Hummel, joined here with Abby Williams. The Mavs ride into town tonight where the severe weather outside is not the only storm they will be facing. Jalen Williams knows the keys to a Thunder win after dropping their last game to the Pacers.
I'm really just playing our brand of basketball, going there and playing with five. We know what we have to do to win the game, so we just got to go in there and play how we want to play. For our team, we have a lot of fun out there, and we have a lot of guys that want to compete. So we have a lot of guys that go out there, play as hard as they can.
The 1 seed in the West changes about every other day, but the Thunder have held their own. Just yesterday, the Denver Nuggets edged out OKC for the top spot, with Minnesota hot on both teams' trails. If the season ended today, number 8 Dallas would be in the play-in tournament. When they last met, Dallas beat OKC 146-111. Now, fortunately for the Thunder, Mavs star Luka Doncic is out tonight with a hamstring injury. Reporting from the Paycom Center, Abby Williams and Kaylee Jo Hummel, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Abby and Kaylee Jo. OU Men's Hoops is gearing up for the NCAA tournament. CBS, ESPN, and Fox have OU facing Gonzaga as a 9 or 10 seed, and the Washington Post predicts a matchup between OU and Nevada. The bracket selection will take place on Sunday, and head coach Porter Moser is confident his team is ready for the madness.
So we could end up top 30 defense. Our offense is in the top 50. So I think there's, with the schedule we've had, with 0 quad 2, 3, or 4 losses, being 20-12 going into this week, and our guys know that we're going to be at full strength. And where we were at full strength until we just hit this bug these last couple weeks, but we're going to be at full strength by this weekend.
OU women's basketball head coach Jenny Baranczyk has been named a semifinalist for National Coach of the Year. In her 3 years at OU, she's had 3 winning seasons and produced back-to-back Big 12 regular season championship teams. Heading down south, OU baseball took on UT Arlington last night. The Sooners led 3-1 going into the 9th, but unhitched the wagon after Anthony McKenzie ripped a deep ball to the right, which bounced off the right fielder's glove and allowing 2 Sooners to score. 4 Sooner pitchers combined to help OU get the 5-1 win over the Mavericks. OU faces TCU next. Darian, Melina.
Thanks, Emily. One English wedding gets a surprise guest.
Find out who interrupts this moving ceremony coming up.
I'm Kamarion Brown with new reaction to next Benedict's cause of death. Both sides of the Oklahoma House are responding after the state medical examiner ruled the teenager's death as suicide. Republicans say that, quote, every human life is precious and created in the image of God, no matter who they are or love. Democratic leader Cindy Munson says Benedict's death resulted from a society and government that restricts LGBTQ plus individuals' identities. We'll be following. Darian, Melina.
Thanks, Kamarion. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Now, spring is a popular season for weddings and families to come together. But what happens when a cow shows up? This cow interrupts a moving wedding in an English countryside by objecting the couple's union.
When the officiant asked a second time, the cow objected again before holding its peace. It was still a happy day because the bride, groom, and the guests laughed at the uncanny timing.
Now, we've gone over the radar a couple times throughout the show, but on a day like this, it's a great idea to check again.
That's right, so let's take another look at our forecast. Lauren?
That's right. We are still tracking some of those severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, this is going to be, if you are traveling, you definitely want to make sure that you are prepared for this. But ladies, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Darian Curry. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.